Hello, myself is Manjula. I am working in as a lecturer in Sri Jagadguru Renukacharya College, Anandrao Circle, Bengaluru. So today we'll study about statistics. So in the previous chapter, Introduction to Statistics and Basic Concepts, we have studied Croxland-Cowden's definition. So many definition of statistics which is given by many statisticians. In that, one of the definition of statistics in singular sense is Croxland-Cowden's definition. So according to Croxland-Cowden, statistics is a science of collection, organization, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. So these are the stages of statistical survey. Okay. So in this, we'll study about these two stages, collection and organization, in the second chapter, organization of data. Okay. So this is the second chapter. We have organization of data. So this will be for 8 marks. So 1 mark you have one question and one question from 2 marks and one question is for 5 marks. So totally you have 8 marks from this chapter. Okay. So we'll start with what is organization of data. So first we'll start with what is data. So data is the collection of known facts and figures, or the numerical information, or it is the characteristics which is collected through observation. And organization is a systematic arrangement of collected data which is useful for the further statistical analysis, and you can understand the facts better. So this is organization of data. Okay. So we'll study about the statistical inquiry. So inquiry is searching for the knowledge or truth, and search for knowledge or truth using statistical methods or tools and techniques is called as statistical inquiry. So we have two stages in statistical inquiry. One is planning and preparation. Planning and preparation. Second is execution of the survey. So to conduct any statistical inquiry or to find the knowledge or the truth using some statistical methods, so we need planning and preparation. So any event to be successful, planning is very important, which improves the quality of the survey. So you need a perfect planning for the conducting the statistical survey. So we have planning and preparation. After the planning is done, we have to take into action, called as execution of the survey, is conducting the survey or executing the survey. So these two are the stages of statistical investigation. First, we will study what are the steps which should be taken to which is to be considered while planning the survey. So, while planning and preparation, we have 8 steps to be considered. So, first one is the object of the inquiry. So, object is nothing but the purpose. So, for every statistical inquiry, we need a perfect purpose or the objective. So, which should be known in advance, and based on the purpose or the objective, we carry out the next points, we carry out the next steps. So, which is based on the purpose and the objective of the inquiry. So, first thing is object of an inquiry, purpose of the inquiry should be decided. Second is scope of the inquiry. Scope of the inquiry is the geographical area which is covered for the statistical survey. So whether you are covering a particular region or a state or a country, so the geographical area which is covered for the inquiry or the statistical survey should be mentioned. Units used for collection and analysis. So what are the units you use for collection of data and for analyzing the data should be mentioned. So units used for collection, for example, if you are collecting for the we are taking population census, people, number of people is the units which is used for collection. It may be the number of people or number of trees, so number of units which is used for collecting. Analysis, we can use any ratios, percentages or rates. So these are used for analyzing the data. So we have some units for collection and analysis of the data. Then we have sources of data. So sources is nothing but from where the data is extracted. So we have two different sources. One is the primary data and the other is the secondary data. So primary data is the one where you get the direct data. It is the investigator who collects the data from the source. It is the direct data. And secondary data is the investigator collects the data from some other person. It is second-hand data or indirect data. So these two are the sources of getting data. Second is methods of collection of data. So we have two methods of collecting the data. One is the census method and the other is the sample method. So census is if each and every unit of the population is considered for enumeration. If the enumeration is conducted, it is collecting the information from each and every unit of the population. It is census survey. So if only a part of the population, if the enumeration is based on only a part of the population or if it is based on only the representative items of the population, then it is called as sample survey. So we have two methods of collecting the data. One is the census method and the other is the sample method. Then we have framing a format. Format is nothing but list of addresses. So we have the informants or the respondent, one who knows the information. So while collecting the data, we need the addresses of all the informants or any correspondence, for example, telephone number or the email ID, any contact, correspondence of the informants. So we have a list of all the addresses of the informants. So according to that, we go for collecting the data. So that should be prepared in advance. This is framing a format. So frame. Next is the accuracy level. So accuracy is to what level the data should be collected. Whether it is 100% accurate values or it should be nearly approximate. So while checking the expensive items like gold or the silver, even a milligram is also counted. So we need 100% accurate weighing. So in case of any pulses or rice, 100 or 200 grams also doesn't matter. So always when collecting the data, we check the accuracy level. Either the data should be 100% accurate or it should be approximate. So based on that, we go for census or sample method, because the census gives 100% accurate data and samples are only on an average. The results are only on an average, or it gives approximate data. The last one is the type of inquiry. So we have to mention what inquiry we are conducting the survey. So whether it is confidential or non-confidential, or it is official or non-official, regular or it is irregular. So what type of inquiry we are conducting. So preparing and planning and preparing need all these steps. There are 8 steps. So these are object of an inquiry, scope of an inquiry, units used for collection and analysis, and sources of data, methods of collection of data, then framing a format, accuracy level, and type of inquiry. So after the planning and preparation, after the perfect planning, the next step is execution of the survey. So taking the action of the planning. So whatever the points or the steps what we have planned, it is taken into action. This is called as execution of the survey. This is one more stage of statistical inquiry. So execution of the survey has 7 points. So one is setting a team of administrators. So we have to set a team of administrators, one who has the knowledge of inquiry, statistical inquiry, one who has the knowledge of conducting the surveys. So we set the administrators, and we have some units or the people who are the investigators who support the administrators in conducting the surveys. So first thing is we have to set a team of administrators. Then designing of questionnaire. Questionnaire is a list of questions which is set by the investigator, and you have the information which is needed for the investigator, and the respondent is going to give all the information which is needed for the survey. So a questionnaire is designed to get the information from the informants or the respondents which is needed for the statistical inquiry. Next is selection and training of enumerators. So enumerator are the person who collects the data for the investigator. So those enumerators should be selected, and a proper training should be given so that he should be smart and skilled enough to collect the information from the respondents. So you have to select and train the enumerators for collecting the data. Next is the field work by enumerators and supervision. Next step is they start collecting the data. So we have a format frame, we have the list of addresses of the informants. According to that, the enumerators will collect the data. So in case of a supervisor, a senior person will supervise. So how the data is collected, whether the enumerators are doing their work or not. So the supervision is done by the senior people. So next step is follow up in case of non-response. So if the informant is not available or he is not in the interest to give the information, so we have non-response. That is, the person is not responding for the questions. So those persons should be followed up. So we have a follow up in case of non-response. Then analysis of collected data. Once the data is collected, it should be analyzed. So we have so many statistical tools and techniques like averages, we have dispersion, mean, median, mode. So we have many tools and techniques and statistics. Using that, we analyze the collected data. The last step is preparation of final report. A report is prepared in which all the points, what the data, purpose of the data, and what is the geographical area which is covered for statistical inquiry, and what is the method of data collection, whether it is census or sample method, and the source of data, whether it is primary data or secondary data, or the accuracy level which is measured. So everything will be recorded in the report, and last final report is prepared. So we have the 7 steps in the execution of the survey. So setting a team of administrators, designing of the questionnaire, selection and training of enumerators, field work by enumerators and supervision, follow-up in case of non-response, analysis of collected data, preparation of final report. So next we have is collection of data. So the first step in the statistical inquiry is to collect the facts and figures which is used for a particular survey. So collection of data, we collect, we count and we observe, then we analyze. So the data which is the collected data. So based on the collected data, we go for analysis, we go for presentation, analysis and interpretation. Interpretation is nothing but drawing the conclusion. So the data collection is very important. It's the first method and the first stage of statistical inquiry. The data collected should be proper, complete, reliable. That is, then only the success of the inquiry is essential. The inquiry will be in success. So, collection of data, we have 3 persons. So, here the first one is the investigator. Investigator is a person who conducts the statistical inquiry. So he is the person who conducts the inquiry, and you have enumerator. Enumerator is the person who collects the information for the investigation. So investigator. So enumerator is the person who collects the data for investigator. And we have informant. He is also called as respondent. So respondent or the informant is a person from whom the data is collected, ones who give the information. So from informant or the respondent, the data is collected. So we have 2 different methods of data collection. So collection of data. So there are 2 methods. One is the primary data and the other is secondary data. Okay. So primary data is also called as direct data, where the investigator himself will collect the data from the source. So for example, before taking the admission, so you students, so you visited the particular college and inquired about how many different combinations you have, what will be the fee structure and what are the necessities, what are the essentials you need for the course. So everything is collected by you. If you are the investigator who needs the information, if you collect directly going to the college, then it becomes first hand data or the primary data. So primary data is the one which is collected directly from the source or the field where the data is available. Okay. So secondary data is the one where the investigator collects the data from some other person who have collected for some other purpose. So collecting the information from some other source is called as secondary data. So we have some methods of collecting primary data. So the first method is direct observation method. So direct observation method, the investigator directly observes the statistical inquiry, statistical survey. That means the event is observed by the investigator directly. So the enumerator or the investigator should be skilled and smart enough for observation. He should have a good sense so that he can observe the data and record. So this is purely based on the investigator skill. So this is by direct observation. For example, in the study of the asthma patients, the doctor will record the health conditions and observe the record conditions and record the data. So this is direct observation method. So this method is applicable for a small population. So when the number of units which should be observed is less, then we apply this method. And this method is time consuming. It takes much time. And we have some merits and demerits. So merit is the data which is collected is accurate and reliable. Accurate and reliable because this is collected directly by the investigator. So the data will be accurate, 100% true, and this is trustworthy. Then the data here, data will be homogeneous and uniform. The data which is collected will be homogeneous and the data will be uniform. So demerits of this data is this method. So demerits of this method is the data is not applicable for a large population. So when you have more number of units that should be observed, then this method is not applicable and there is a bias. So there may be a chance or a risk of bias while collecting the data because this is purely based on the investigator. So if the investigator is not trained enough to collect the data, then the data collection may result in a bad. So therefore, there is a risk of bias in collecting the data. So this is direct observation method. The second method of collecting primary data is indirect oral interview. So in this, if the informant is or the respondent is not ready to give the information, then the investigator will collect or approaches the person who knows the informant or who is in touch with the informant. So he will collect the investigator will collect the data from those person who is a third party, those person who is in contact with the informant. So the problem and the person who knows the information, the person who is in contact with the informant should be know us is supposed to know the problem under the investigation. So the data is collected from those person who are in touch with the informant or who are close to the informant. So this is applicable only for small population, and the merits are this is simple and convenient method of collecting data, and this is free from prejudice of the respondent, because the respondent if is not in the position to give directly the data, the investigator will collect the data from some other person, so there is no bias or the prejudice. So demerits is, so interviewer is not a perfect person. If the person is not a perfect, who is not a person who gives a correct data, then the data which is collected may spoil the result of the inquiry, and the witness may supply biased information also. So the person who is in touch with the informant may not give the correct data. The information may be biased. So these are the demerits. The third method of collecting primary data is information through agencies. So under this method, so the local agents or the correspondents. So we have the person, the enumerators or the agents who collects the data from their locality, because they are well versed in the locality, the area and the people. So they collect the data from their locality and they supply to the investigator. So they supply the data to the investigator, and those people are called as correspondents. So in example, the newspapers or the media, so the regular working of media and newspapers is done through local agencies. So even the result of election. So this is also done using information through agencies. The merit is this is more economical. It costs less and you get the regular information. This is applicable when you have to get the regular information from the local correspondents. And demerits of this method is there is a scope for bias, because the data is collected by the enumerators of the agency agents who are correspondents, and they may be biased in collecting the data, and it is difficult to maintain the degree of accuracy and uniformity. So as there are many local correspondents who collects the data and supply the data to the investigator, accuracy level is maintaining the accuracy level becomes bit difficult. The next method of collecting primary data is mailed questionnaire. Questionnaire is a list of questions which is prepared by the investigator, and these are the questions which should be written, which should be the information which is required by the investigator, and these are filled by the informant. So this is a list of questions where the answers are filled by the informants, and these are the required information for the investigation. So the questionnaire is sent to the respondents and they are expected to write the answers in the space provided in the questionnaire. The questionnaire is either directly sent to the informant or through mail. So use with a covering letter with the purpose of the survey, to what purpose the survey is conducted, and the time limit and other instructions to the informant will be given. So this is one of the economical method. The main merit is This is the method which is used in many of the data collection. So this is more economical, which takes less time and labor, and this is also suitable when you have a large population, when you are collecting the data, when more number of units, when you have more number of units, the population is large. This is one of the economical method for collecting the data. So demerits is this cannot be used for illiterates because questionnaire should be filled by the informant. The informant should be educated, literate. So then only he can read and write the questions. So he has to fill up the answers. Therefore, if he is an illiterate, then this method cannot be adopted. So this method is not useful for the illiterates. And the non-response rate is high. So if you give the questionnaire for a informant, he may not be able to write the answers and give the return back the questionnaire in the correct time. Therefore, the non-response rate is high in case of questionnaire method. So usually the questionnaire method is used in application form. So when you go for admissions, so you have the list of questions which the college is needed, the information which is needed by the college, and the person who is going to admit the students who is having the information. The students will fill up the application form. So this is the method of questionnaire. Then the fifth method of collecting primary data is schedules sent through enumerators. So schedules are also the list of questions, but these are prepared by the investigator and collected by the enumerator or the investigator himself. So this is especially made for the illiterates. So the person who does not know to read and write, so the investigator or the enumerator will give the questions and the answers which is after getting the information from the informant or the respondent, the enumerator will record the answers. So this is the question and answers, both of them are written by the enumerator by getting the information from the informant. So this method is applicable for illiterates. So even the illiterates can also give the information, the enumerator will record. And non-response rate is less because the enumerator himself will recording the information. Therefore, you don't have any non-response rate. It's very less. Demerits of this method is, so you need a well-trained enumerators. He should be skilled enough to get the information from the informant. So a good training should be given for the enumerators, then only you get the correct data. And this method is time consuming because it takes more time to ask the question and record the answers. And there is a personal bias in this method because it is dependent on the enumerator. Therefore, there is a scope for bias. So next we have is frame a questionnaire. So as already I told, questionnaire is a list of questions which is prepared by the investigator and it is filled by the informant or the respondent, one who knows the information, right? So while framing a questionnaire, we have some rules or essentials for framing a good questionnaire. So first one is the number of questions should be less as possible. So if you have more content, it should be divided into two questionnaires and the number of questions should be as less as possible. So second one, the questions should be simple to understand. So when an informant or the respondent read the question, it is easy, it should be simple to understand, very common man. So the questions should be simple to understand. Questions should be logically arranged. So arrangement of the question should be in a systematic order. So it's easy for collect the data. So for example, the population census will start with the main person, head of the family. So name of head of the family, his age, marital status. So the number of questions should be arranged such that it should be in a systematic manner. So the question should be framed such that the answer for the questions should be objective type. The answer should be in the form of yes or no, because it becomes very, if you have open-ended questions, it becomes very difficult to write the answers and analyze the data because you have many more options. So if you have the options of yes or no, analysis becomes closed type of questions. So analysis becomes very easy. So the answer should be either an yes or no. So personal questions should be avoided. So questions regarding the personal matters or the questions which hurts the person should be avoided. So any clarification regarding the question, any clarification regarding the question should be supplied in the footnote. So if you have any complex words or any words or any information which is not understood directly, so the clarification should be given in the at the last of the questionnaire in the footnote. So that there should not be any misinterpretation of the words. Then the questions regarding the mathematical rigor should be avoided. So any questions of calculations, mathematical rigor concepts should be avoided. There should not be any calculations or the question should not have any mathematical rigor. The question should be framed that the complete information of the statistical survey should be, it should have the complete information of the statistical survey. So you should get complete information of the survey. Then questionnaire also assures that the information which is supplied by the informant will be confidential. So the informant or the respondent will be make sure that what the information he is giving or supplying will be kept in confidence. So these are the rules or the essentials for framing a good questionnaire. So the number of questions should be less as possible and the question should be easy to understand. Question should be arranged in logical order. The question should be framed such that the answers should be in objective type, either yes or no. So personal questions should be avoided or any questions hurting the person should be avoided. The clarifications of any words or the question should be supplied in the footnote at the end of the questionnaire. The questionnaire should be framed such that the mathematical rigor should be avoided, any mathematical calculation. So questionnaire should be such that it should give complete data of the survey and the informant will be make sure that the answer supplied by the informant or the respondent will be kept in confidential, kept confidential. And the questionnaire is attached with a covering letter, self-addressed envelope with the purpose of the survey and the time limit. So when the informant should write and return back the questionnaire. So these are the essentials of the questionnaire. This will be for 5 marks. So what are the essentials of a questionnaire or what are the rules for framing a questionnaire? So we have one more method of data collection, that is secondary data. Secondary data is also called as second hand data, where the investigator will collect the data from some other person who has collected the data for some other purpose. So if you are collecting the data from some other person, is called as second hand data. For example, if you take the same example, when you go for admission, so we collected the data of the college and the course. So if you collect the information from some other person who is already going for that course and the college, so if you get the information from that person, instead of going directly to the college, this becomes second hand data. It is indirect data. So this is secondary data. So we have two different sources of collecting secondary data. One is the published source and the other is unpublished source. So published source is one which is publications of central and state government. So you have many publications, for example, bank, so KSRTC. So you have many publications which they have their own journals which is published. So, central government and state government publications and international bodies like International Monetary Fund or UNO. So, there are many international bodies where they publish the information. So, all these are publications, whether it is state government, central government, or international bodies. Or the journals, newspapers, and periodicals are also published data because the person who has collected the data from the other person, other source, so which is indirect data, and the websites of many organizations. So through internet, we have many websites where you get the information, which is indirect data. And unpublished data is the data which is not published. It is only recorded and maintained in the government office. So records which are maintained in the government office or municipalities or panchayat office. For example, the municipality births and the death rates. So births and the deaths which is occurring in the human population, which is recorded and maintained. So which will not be published in the newspapers or any media. So these are the recordings or the recording of the research institute. So if a person is doing research on any purpose or the inquiry, so he will collect the data and he record. And so that recordings they are not published. So recordings of the research institutions or the scholars. So these are unpublished data. So this they may ask for 2 marks. Which are the sources of secondary data? So published and unpublished data. Give an example for published data. This would be for 1 mark. You can give any one of the example which is the published data or which is unpublished data.